to another episode. So, first, let's tell people that I'm around. So I finished yesterday with chain sets, but I did it offline because there was too much to understand, and it's basically this table that I wrote on the bottom. The chapter about associations in chain sets makes it very confusing because they start with put a sock in a way that they are using what should be on build a sock instead of going directly for what works for put a sock. I mean, like, I start an example. I shouldn't maybe start the example with a case in which you shouldn't use put a sock, right? So this too works on all the values that are associated to a record, a parent record. So if you use put a sock or cast a sock, they are going to replace all the values. And this one, it just adds one association. So let's say that we have a user that has multiple delivery addresses. We can use this for that. I made a few changes also to Elixir on my computer. So there you go. Elixir 1.18 was released. I found a way to use it, which is basically to put it here. I downloaded it and it's here. Right? So that way I don't have to wait for Nixos to catch up with reality. It's in here and I can use 1.18. The main reason I wanted to use 1.18 it's because it has auto reload. So now I have this configured in IX, and that way I don't have to keep writing recompile anymore, because it does it on itself. And I use these shortcuts even though it's from later on the book, because it makes my life easier. So I can do things like repo or user, and I get them all directly without having to do first alias. There's no point on writing so many aliases when you can just write them on IX. Excuse me, I need coffee. So what are we doing today? Of course, all this can be found on my notes here. Okay, and as usual I will add a link somewhere. We'll probably make this clearer somehow. And I changed my Obsidian configuration, so in here, instead of having that useless relationship links, I have the table of content, which makes way more sense. Okay, so this is what we're doing today, and I'm getting it out of the way so we can do migrations later today, and I can move into Ecto apply. I haven't started reading anything from here. There are a few things that I have checked already, but yeah, I want to move on. I want to finish with this quickly, or as quick as possible, because I need to write code. I'm paid for writing code, not for reading books. But yeah, let's move on. So we are on using multi and transactions, running migrations, making changes, introducing migrations. Multi wasn't a very long episode, episode chapter. So this starts on page 87 and finishes on page 99. So unlike all the other ones, on the first part of the book, this one is very short, which is good. And here we are. I'm not surprised that it's short because, there's not much. It's just understanding what they are. So I think that clarifies what it is. So transactions is like the manual way of doing multiple operations on the database, while multi it's more prepared. Rollback makes more sense. This is probably the reason I'm going to use this. In fact, I think I'm going to create a log table on this project that I'm working on.
I'm getting distracted. It's like Friday and everybody's sending me messages through WhatsApp. Between my brother-in-law that is on the hospital, my mother that is nearby, and my ex that I promised him that we were going to have breakfast. That's the reason I want to get this done before I go elsewhere. So right, if we want to run multi, the first thing that we need to do always is to run multi-new. It works differently than a chain set. And it has functions that mimic the ones that we have before. So it wouldn't be repo insert, repo anything, it would just be multi. So we have something like multi equals multi new. Let's make this clear. And we don't use ever the ones with the exclamation mark. We can go back to the normal ones, which is the reason I think it's better, because you are not going to make that mistake. And then you send all this to repo transaction. Oh yeah, everything must have a name, so this becomes insert user, this becomes log the user, because this is the way that the structure is going to tell you which one went wrong. So, and each version of insert update, etc. need a atom that operation. Yeah, I'm not going to write the return type. I think that it makes sense by itself. So in this case it would be okay, and then the data structure that has like insert user and the result of this, and log the user and the result of this. And now when you get the errors is when they are different.
Oh, I just realized I cannot rotate the microphone. How weird is that? So I can put it like this, but I cannot make it that way? Strange. I just wanted to put it like here, looking this way. Strange choice, mine. Anyway. Capturing errors with multi. We are on page 94 of 99 pages. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just that you get per target operation, which means you can recover by pattern matching. Something you can do on transactions. It's basically that, the difference.
Right, executing non-database operations with multi. How's this looking? It needs a tag. So we have an anonymous function. It accepts two arguments. One is a repo and a map of the changes made on the multi so far. So basically, function
I mean, there is another one. The second version looks nicer because you can just say multi-name mod fun args. It makes more sense than writing this whole thing. You have the function instead of passing a weird anonymous one, you could just pass the function name. I'm surprised they didn't put an example here. Introspection with multi. And that's it, we finished with multi, which is amazing. So I've done this video, and how long does this take? Let's find out. "34 minutes to explain multi." That's my new record. And we can put this on the internet so you have access to it. There you go. On the next episode, we are going to do migrations. It's a long episode, but we'll eventually do it. And then we can move on to Ecto applied. I'm going to try to be back today and do it today later on. But I can't promise anything. I would like to do it today so we can move on Saturday to all the other parts of the book that start with Ecto applied, which is shorter because it's going to be like 80 pages. I think they are nicer and way more interesting than the first one. So the first one is just a foundation, a necessary foundation to understand Ecto, while the second part is more like what you actually need to master Ecto. So we'll see then. Until then.